Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode here on Dangerous African Confessions HD. In this episode, we will hear a confession that is almost impossible. Because, today's confession is just mind-boggling and confusing. Today's confession is from one of our brothers. And in this confession, he reveals to us about how his pastor's wife is blackmailing him after impregnating her. He reveals some deep stuffs about the wife of his pastor and the things that she did whilst he was working for the pastor. His confession delves deep into some of the things that this pastor's wife goes about doing behind closed doors. He said that, he talking about this confession is not to tarnish anybody's image or cause any confusion. Therefore we decided to hide the names of the people he mentioned. The whole idea and the motive of this program is to bring to light some of the things that are hidden, so that we the people out there can also learn from the mistakes and be aware of what goes on. Without taking much of your time, let us go and listen to his story. Don't forget to please subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload.
Hello brother, I greet you and your listeners. And I believe everyone is doing well. I really want to share with you my own story, which I really do regret involving myself in such a mess. What do I mean by involving myself in a mess? I have done myself a great deal of wrong and also have committed a great sin against someone that I respected so much. This person that I am talking about happened to be my pastor. Why I feel I have committed a great sin and I want to share my story with you and your listeners to please warn the guys especially, that, never get close to anyone's wife. If you feel you will go about sleeping with people, I will not fault you or anything, but to have something to do with someone's wife is a no-go area. Because if you do, you are just digging your own grave. I would want to explain how it all happened, but let me tell you the problem first. I have been sleeping with my pastor's wife, and she wants to blackmail me after I got to know that her son is not for the pastor who is her husband, but mine. I wanted to come clean, and so, I told the pastor about it through a text message. The next thing I heard was that he has paralyzed and is receiving treatment at the hospital at the moment of telling you this. Because the message I sent him contained things that I knew he wasn't expecting, but I felt the need to do it and be free. I didn't want to hide anything anymore. And moreover, I wanted his wife to pay for trying to be smart. It all started when I had moved to the city from the village to find a better job to do. Because life in the village was nothing that I could build a future on. And I decided to move, since I did have a friend in the city who agreed to let me stay with him till I find my feet. As soon as he agreed to accommodate me, I knew it was a perfect opportunity for me to try and see how things were going to be in the city for me. When I came, my friend did help me to secure a job at this supermarket, where I was a shop attendant. But then, in about some few months into it, the management did lay off some of the workers, and I was affected. So, I stayed home for some time. During this period, I would go to this washing base that was closer to where we were living. So, I started to little by little help them out in some of the small works there. And one day, I suggested to the manager of the washing base to employ me there, since I could do the work. He agreed and eventually employed me at the place. I did this work for some time. There was this man that always would come and wash his car at our place. And I happened to be the one who was assigned to his car whenever he came around. So, he became my customer, and took a likeness to me. Which one day he proposed to me that he wanted me to visit him in his church. That was when I got to know that he was a pastor. He always looked good though and appeared to be someone who was well learned. So, one Sunday I went to his church. And after the service, he called me to his office and told me about how much he has developed a likeness to me and would love for me to come to his church. He took his time to talk to me about Christ and how I needed to give my life to him. After some time of talk, I told him I would be visiting from time to time. And then, told me that he was willing to offer me a place to stay and even a work that will pay me well. So, when I returned home, I really gave it a thought and even discussed with my friend, who then advised me to accept it. Since he was a pastor and there was no way a pastor would watch me do something that was good for me. So, after some thinking, I came to a conclusion to accept his proposal. So, that was how I came to work for the pastor as the personal driver to himself and the wife. And for that reason, he gave me a place to stay in his house. Everything seemed very fine and was well going for me in his house. I got to know that he had a driver and his driver had gotten a chance to travel abroad. And there was this information going on in the church that he was even the one that helped his driver to secure all the necessary documents that helped him to travel. So, he was someone who was genuinely concerned about the improvement of a person's life. He made me to feel very welcomed and I was treated just as a member of his family. It was as though I was a blood relative to him. That was how good he was to me. And I allowed myself to be carried away by the temptation of the devil through his wife. I came in when he opened his arms to me, but I have destroyed him and his family. This is something that I am not proud of, and I pray that the good Lord will forgive me and make me whole as a person again. Because, right now I feel so empty and so hollow. It happened that I was almost taking his wife to town almost every day of the week. Except days that he, the pastor, will be having programs that demands that he goes out, and on Sundays that he will go to church to minister. Aside these times and days that I would take him, he was practically in the house, and so I was always with his wife, driving her around town as she goes about doing what she will go to town to do. The wife took some serious likeness to me, and sometimes she even eats with me at restaurants. She will say that there was nothing wrong with it, since we are all living in the same house and she doesn't see me as a different person from herself. And so, she will buy me same food as she will buy for herself and we will eat at the same table. This went on for some time, and she started telling me how nice and handsome I was. It didn't sound right to me, but then she will always tell you it was nothing and I should not think bad of her compliments. So, I also took my mind off it until one evening when we were returning from one of her usual runs. This time she was sitting in the front passenger seat. This was unusual, because she always would sit in the back seat whenever I would drive her around. But then, I didn't ask her why she was in the front seat that evening. We reached the place and she asked me to park the car. I parked, and before I could say anything, my pastor's wife held my manhood more like she was playing. She said sorry to me and pleaded that I forget about it because she didn't mean harm or anything bad. She then told me to just drive home, because she felt embarrassed and she didn't want to go to where she wanted to. So I thought indeed she didn't mean it, and was really sorry about it. Even though I didn't feel right about me being close to her. I even wanted to tell my pastor that I could not drive the wife again. But then, I didn't know what reason to give him without telling him about what the wife has been doing. One early Friday, I was in my room and I had finished bathing, getting out of the shower, when my pastor's wife walked in on me without even knocking on my door. Since I knew that nobody comes to my room, I go to the shower naked from the bedroom and return like that. I don't go there with any clothes or something. She practically saw everything that I carried down there. I don't know whether it was part of her schemes or just something that happened out of the ordinary. She said sorry and then went out after telling me to get ready to take her out. During that whole day, she said nothing to me and I also said nothing to her. Later she told me that she was meeting someone in a hotel. We have been meeting other pastors and singers at hotels when they come programs. She was basically responsible for making arrangements for all that. And so, when she said that she was meeting someone, I didn't think any evil of that. We got inside the room that probably she had reserved or something. Because we went inside the hotel room, this room was with a hall and everything. She asked me to wait in the hall while she went inside the bedroom. She came with a wine and asked me relax as she gave me the drink. She told me that she was getting something outside and would be with me soon. Few moments after the drink, I don't know what happened. I got up and saw that I was in a bed in this room. I turned and I saw my pastor's wife also in the same bed with me. She was all smiling and told me to relax because whatever it is that I was thinking indeed did happen. Whilst I was mad about it, she seemed so much happy that whatever that happened did happen. I was really so much weak that she got up and sat on me again and started romancing me. That was how my pastor's wife slept with me without my consent. One thing is that, when I was with them, they didn't have a child. But that wasn't something that seemed to be a problem in the house at all. I had some small money and I gathered courage after that and told the pastor that I wanted to go away. He tried to convince me to stay, but I knew what I was doing. I just wanted to be away from all that the wife was doing. I couldn't bear to feel that or see that I had slept with this man's wife. I needed to run away far from her so that I would just have my peace. I did, and I went back to my friend, who I told him all about what happened between and the woman. So, I thought I had moved on away from the woman and her problems. Life was going on as I had found myself some work to do. With the help of my friend, I had been able to put up a shop of my own where I distributed mineral water and soft drinks. I think it was about a year or so after everything that I got a call from this number. The lady on the other side of the line told me that she needed me to be her supplier of the drinks. And for that matter, she wanted to see me so we can talk business. I got to the place and realized that my pastor's wife was present. Her reason for calling me was that the affair that she had with me resulted in her getting pregnant, and for that matter, she still needs me to warm her bed. She said that our child was a year older, and if I do not cooperate with her demands, she was going to call on the cops for me, with the accusations of me trying to rape her when I was working for her, which will cause me serious criminal damage. So I should comply with her. I told her that I was going to think about it and would give her a feedback to it. So, I took her number with the promise that I was going to call her. I had other plans, since I didn't want to have anything to do with her again. Every call that I made with her, with all the arrangements of our meetings, I recorded it. And then, I sent it to the husband and recorded to him everything that happened between us. My mind for doing this was not to cause any issue for the pastor, but rather, I wanted to be free from the wife. This is what I had caused his illness and he being at the hospital. This is my story, and I am still praying each and every day for his recovery. And also for having to do with his wife. Always praying and hoping that whatever sins that because of that act with the wife I am carrying will be forgiven.
Like I always say, these are not just stories for story's sake. They are meant for us not to make these mistakes our brothers and sisters are making. That's why we share these stories with you. After listening to this story, I will say that life indeed is some that no one can predict. And you can't even seem to understand what life is all about. I honestly wish the youth of these days will listen to some of the important lessons in these stories that we share. You see, this our brother could have gone ahead to continue with the woman because no one was watching. And it was even the woman who initiated everything. But he chose to be decent, even thought it happened without his consent. He decided not to continue with the demands of the woman. The world indeed is heading to a place where morals are lost in our living. How can a married woman be engaged in such things? And it is not any other person that you are married to, but a pastor. You see, the devil has many of his people pretending to be the very select of God, all in an attempt to deceive many unto himself. Let us be wise and vigilant in our walk in the faith. I just hope that we honestly take the important lessons from these stories to better our lives and decisions. Stay blessed and be safe. Thanks for being a part of this growing family. Kindly share your thought with us in the comment section below. And if you are new here, please subscribe, like and share.